Herzlich willkommen, meine sehr geehrten Damen und Herren, zu einer neuen Episode von Journey to the Chateau. Hier ist Saint-Model, Château de Colombe. Und heute geht es um den Besuch von unserem Nachbarschloss, das auch im 18. Jahrhundert gebaut wurde und im Augenblick zur Verkauf ansteht.
Bonsoir à tous, bienvenue à Journey to the Château de Colombe in Saint-Model.
And to our English-speaking friends from around the world, welcome to another episode of Journey to the Chateau. We had, good grief, a very exciting week, right?
A very busy and very exciting week we did, yes.
And so today it's about our visit to our neighbor Chateau, which is for sale. So if any of you are thinking about buying an 18th century chateau that is in wonderful condition, loved it, it's 4 minutes from here.
Yes, and we had a great time with Brett and Denise visiting there.
And Pierre, the realtor.
Yes, yes.
And of course, Tony Jane.
Absolutely.
I stole your line.
You did. So have a look.
So the chateau is owned by the same family for over 300 years, I think. There is, it's basically Stuart and I, and together with Tony and Jane, because we don't. Neither of us needs to buy a chateau. Although that one, if that would have been on the market, oh, we would have loved it.
Right. We talked about that, and that may have been a chateau that we would have bought instead of this one if it had been on the market. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it just was a year too late. However, having said that, we are where we are supposed to be. So we're very happy here. Don't get me wrong here. But it was walking through there. It was so stunning. And
and as you saw in the rooms, every time we went into a different bedroom, we were like, it was like walking through the Toile de Jouy Museum.
Yes.
Wasn't it? It was just amazing how much Toile de Jouy that they had. All different types from all different years, and that it was beautiful.
Well, over like 2 centuries, right? And so then you go under the rafters. There was one of the servants' room, and it was Toile de Jouy.
Right. Yeah, it was like, we have some leftover Toile de Jouy. We'll just use that in the servants' quarters.
Yeah, give it to Pierre and Jeanette. So let's have it was fantastic, and the portraits.
Oh, the artwork, yeah. And, we sort of laughed about things that were so... The taste that they had was so similar to things that we have actually chosen and bought here for the chateau. Yes. We walked into the first salon, and immediately on the mantle was a clock. There was almost exactly the same clock that we bought...
At the auction.
Yes.
The white marble clock.
Yeah. And paintings and,
And they actually have, because it was built the same time period that ours was built. And we know that our dining table is original to the chateau. And they had basically...
Yes.
Oh, good Lord, I'm saying basically again. But they had the same dining table.
They did.
And you could also extend it. They did a wonderful renovation on the kitchen. It was almost a bit too modern for my taste, but it's...
But we were amazed, and you saw in the video, you saw, I'm sure, the pot rack that was there. that couldn't have been more similar to the pot rack that we just finished putting up.
It must have been one craftsman around here who said, okay, this is the pot rack. You want it or you don't. Either this one or no pot rack. So it was really, really interesting, and it was wonderful to see the history of not the region, but our little microcosm here of old feudal and rich merchant families who use this as their country seats with large estates attached to it. So very fascinating, and I could have spent hours more in that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, because it had been a while now since we had actually been shopping for a chateau.
Yes.
So that was actually very fun.
I mean, having a chateau tour was really good. We had 2 with Denise and Brett. The first one was an interesting chateau, but it was renovated very much to 21st century standard American and this taste, and there was nothing inside the chateau that we would have said, oh, this is amazing.
Right.
So it was a bit disappointing, but it was also built in 1897. So it was very much just turn of the 20th century. There was no history there.
Right.
So it wasn't really interesting to us. But it was still beautiful crafts. I mean, they did a good job renovating it.
They did, yes.
They had a beautiful air conditioning system in it and all that. But nothing we really wanted to show on our vlog.
Right. So we are actually here in the back of the chateau today.
Yes.
Right. And we are going to show you now a bit of what's going on with the potager.
Yes. And can I just say that real quick? Potager means... Potager is the pot, and it's the vegetables that go into the soup. So it's the soup or the kitchen garden.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So I'm back here in the back of the chateau. And this is one of the more wild roses that we have that's growing up against the chateau. So I thought while I was back here, I'd show you a few things on my way to the potager. That's, of course, is the dog run that we put in the back. This is our very overgrown back part of the estate. This is what happens when your tractor mower breaks down and it takes a long time for them to get it repaired and get it back to you, unfortunately. So we are going to head back and take a look at what we have that's growing. Most of our plants, fruit trees and shrubs are all doing really well right now. This is where we had the vegetables just last year. And again, we replanted some tomatoes here, so we'll have tomatoes again growing here. Some garden kitchen herbs growing as well. And Patrick has just recently planted some beans in here as well to also climb the poles along with the tomatoes. This is our currants. These are red currants. This bush was probably only about half of the size of this last year. And you can see they're doing really well. We should have a lot of red currants this year. And I'm looking forward to that. We were only able to make a little bit of red currant jelly last year. So hopefully we'll be able to make some more with it, lots more of it this year. Okay, so here are the 2 peach trees. And you remember we had an episode where we harvested the peaches last year. And we had an episode where we actually pruned these back. So we followed some advice from some of our viewers and looked up some more information and found out that how to trim back the peach trees. And they are doing really, really well. We've got a lot of peaches that are developing on the peach trees. You can see here. And we have the 2 different types of peaches. This is the one tree. And this tree was actually doing really well last year too. It's more of a regular peach. And then this one is the red peach. When you open it up, they're kind of red inside. And it has a lot more fruit on it this year, which we're very happy with. You can see. So we're looking forward to getting a nice harvest of peaches from these 2 trees. And then right here is where our newly planted potager is for this year. And here you can already see these are the potatoes, and they are doing really well. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a bit of weeding in here, and they need to be mounded up again. Potatoes are, as they grow, you keep mounding up around them over and over. And so that's what I'm going to do a bit of today. And then over here we can see in the no dig, we have, garlic and onions, and they're all doing pretty good. And we have more tomatoes back here as well. And of course, we need to get back here and water again today because we have had, at least over a week now, I think, where we have not had any rain at all. So we're going to need to water a lot of the vegetables and potted plants almost every day. So I'm going to get busy in the garden.
Now, I did. Let me start by actually saying, no, we don't have our tractor. It's 6 weeks. It's in the shop, so I have no idea why it takes them so long.
No.
I contacted them again today, and I said I would like to get it back before the end of summer.
Gee, wouldn't that be nice?
It's ridiculous. I know they got the parts last week, and yet it's a complete other week. So it's not really a good recommendation for the sales are fantastic. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
Jonathan is fantastic, but their garage or their shop is extremely slow, and at this point, I would not recommend them. So, just saying,
Right.
because 6 weeks, basically no communication. If
long.
I don't say, "Hey, what is going on?"
Right.
Nothing is happening, and so they have the part. Our tractor's standing there for 4 weeks. And in the last 2 weeks, they still couldn't be bothered to repair it and
Right.
get it back to us. So I think maybe with a local shop that's even way closer here, we might be better served. But having said that, so
Right.
I stomped through the grass, which at this point, some of our grasses are, and as you know, I'm pretty tall. They are about
Yeah.
just upper body level.
Yeah.
So
It's like
it's gorgeous.
it's like nothing's ever been mowed here ever right now.
no.
That's what it looks like. It's horrible.
And by the way, I think so. Donkeys are not supposed, and no, we don't get any donkeys anytime soon, unfortunately.
no,
but
no.
we're looking into all of our options there. But donkeys are not supposed to eat very long grass because they will swallow it and then they get digestive problems. So.
Right.
Something if you know about this, please comment and let us know what you know about what donkeys should eat in terms of what length of grass.
Right. Right.
Okay, so having said that, I digressed.
Did you?
Completely.
Sort of. Not really, though.
In any case, I went and looked at our fruit trees. We have a ton of mirabelles.
Yes.
Peaches are doing well.
Yeah,
You showed that.
I showed the peaches. They're actually doing really well, and so are the currants.
Yes.
The currants are like twice double the size of what they were last year.
And we have cooking pears.
Right. And Patrick and I actually did take a walk. We forgot the camera, but we took a walk to the back where we have cherry trees.
Oh, yeah, we had cherries yesterday.
And we do have cherries on them. I'm skeptical about whether when they actually are ripe enough, if there's going to be any there anymore.
Well, we ate some yesterday.
We did.
They were
We ate some of them off the
lovely.
tree. They were great. But we also then, as soon as we turned our backs, the birds came in. So,
The blackbirds just said, "Get out! It's our
so
dinner."
we may not get any harvest from the cherries again.
They're very old.
Yeah.
They're not kept up, and
Right.
we're going to just leave them for the birds. But if we wanted to do more cherries, we would plant new trees, and you cover them because then they're manageable. We have a tree that is, 25, 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
Good luck with harvesting anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is quite lovely. We have you have a cooking or a canning pear. So the
Right.
pears are about this tall. They're tiny. You peel them, half them, take the pits out, and then you pickle them. They taste absolutely incredible. Last year we wanted to do it, and it didn't happen. This year it will happen.
It will. Yes, we will have something with them this year.
So, and
yeah.
the nice thing is that our next visitor is going to be Frauke,
Oh, yes, that'll be fun.
and one of her best friends.
Friends
and
coming with her. That's great.
They are, Frauke has an old family recipe on how to pickle them. So I am going to squeeze that recipe out of her, even if I had to force her.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. And
Yes, and we should also point out that we have the giant fig tree
oh dear.
that already is just loaded with figs. Already,
This big.
that
They're
big already.
huge.
It's amazing.
I just stood in front of this and said, "They're so big, are they ripe?" No, they're
No,
not.
they're not ripe yet. No. No.
They're rock hard.
Yeah.
But it's going to be quite some
We should have a
preserve making.
pretty
and
good harvest.
However,
Yeah.
I know I'm a little bitchy today,
Yes.
complaining. We still haven't heard from our cooker, which would be lovely to have because
Oh.
you can put the especially for chutneys,
Yeah.
you can put the marmaladier in the middle. That's
Right.
this big copper pot where we cook marmalades and chutneys and have the very low setting.
Right.
So it never burns, and you just caramelize and slowly evaporate the water. So you have these really just intense flavors. Let's see when it arrives.
Right.
It was February, then it was March, then it was May, and now it's June.
Yeah.
And as Nati from the Chateau de la Londe would say, welcome to France.
Yeah. So Angela is now back home. Yes. And we really appreciate it. We loved her visit here, and she did a lot of work for us while she was here.
Yes. Well, we forced her to.
And we are actually been very busy the last 24 hours because we yet have another gîte guest.
Yes.
So our gîte is actually, the bookings are coming in pretty fast.
It's lovely.
It's great.
And the thing is that what everyone assumed was that people that watched the vlog would say, oh, let's just go. And everyone who has booked is French.
Right. They are people who are actually from France.
Yes.
I don't think anyone so far knows anything about this vlog.
No.
Right? And they're actually, from what we've been told, they're actually more of people who come down from Paris. They kind of like escape for the weekend to come down here. So, they're not looking for, television and Wi-Fi. They're actually looking for exactly the kind of setup that we have here.
Well, it's one thing that Angela actually talked about is that we're still waiting for our installation appointment and welcome to France.
Right.
Anyway, so the gîte has no internet at this point, but there are quite a few people who actually, it's like escapism. They want to get out of the rat race. They want to go into the country.
Try to get off the grid a bit. Yes, for a while,
it's really fascinating that everyone who booked here knows there is no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And they
Not a problem.
appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Even they appreciate it. That's really fantastic.
That's true, yes.
The last couple who was here with their 3 kids, they said, it's wonderful. We can just put our phones down, and they're French. They still have access to data if they need to. But they just love it. So it's fascinating. It's a very different mindset from what we were used in the United States. But clearly we're in the right spot, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes.
Had to think about it, didn't you?
No, I did not, actually. So that's our episode for today.
Yes.
We will have another regular episode on Wednesday next week.
Yes, and if you like this episode, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and recommend it to your recommend us to your friends.
Yes, that's it.
We're also on Patreon if you want to support the renovation of the chateau. And I lost my train of thought.
And we'll see you next time.
Oh, yes.
Au revoir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please use the like feature to let us know. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our Journey to the Chateau YouTube channel if you would like to see more. Once you've subscribed, you can tap the notification bell in order to ring it, which will allow you to receive all notifications from our channel. Thank you.